Hello, my name is Jack Sampel, and this is my case study for EDL 854. Summarization of what happened. Foundations for each elementary school support supplementary curriculum subjects, and this is due to district funds only being utilized for basic skills curriculum. And that pretty much pertains to core subjects, I think. And the foundations are chaired by a parent representative who serves as a president. The parents of the students at Briardale Elementary have been supportive of these supplementary programs in the past, and these programs include art, music, and foreign language. This year, Mr. Barely, and a new parent to the community, has chosen to lead the foundation. He wants to raise enough money to create innovative curriculum programs and also fund the existing programs. He wanted to raise more money than ever in the school's history. Mr. Barely was also motivated by his former rivalry with Mr. Morley, and he wanted to raise more money than any of the other elementary schools as well. Mr. Santos, the principal, met with Mr. Barely and informed him of his job as coordinator of the fundraiser, his role as the president of the foundation, and his responsibility to meet with the elementary school curriculum committee to inform them of ideas that might be influential to the supplementary curriculum programs. Mr. Barely was used to taking control and thought he was more than qualified to do this. Utilizing his former fraternity fundraising idea, Mr. Barely had the idea of selling raffle tickets in exchange to win cash. This fundraiser had been successful for him in the past. He raised over $100,000 for his fraternity in college. Mr. Barely established a strategy for selling the raffle tickets and went to the foundation to propose this. They were in favor of it and started selling tickets. The raffle drawing would be held at Briardale Elementary School, and Mr. Santos and the community gathered that night for what was supposed to be the best fundraiser in history. That said, right before the first raffle ticket was drawn, a sheriff arrived on the site and took Mr. Barely to the police station. He had violated some law. Nobody really knew because they were unaware of what he had done. And he was placed on probation for his role in the raffle for cash fundraiser and convicted of a misdemeanor. Mr. Santos was embarrassed of this debacle, and it ended up being on the front page of the local newspaper. It left a permanent mark on Briardale Foundation. There's one huge legal issue. 46 states have laws pertaining to raffles. It can be assumed that Mr. Barely breached his contract by not following the proper laws. I'm guessing they live in one of the states that has laws against raffles. And Mr. Barely, Mr. Santos, Briardale Elementary School, the foundation, and the community have all been harmed by these legal issues. Next, we have two big ethical issues. The first is not following the proper laws pertaining to raffles. It's always ethical to follow the law accordingly. And the other main ethical issue is Mr. Barely's intentions for the fundraiser. He was fueled by his rivalry more than trying to do the right thing. And I think this could have led to him maybe not looking at the proper procedures of fundraising that he should have. And Mr. Barely, Mr. Santos, Briardale Elementary School, Foundation, and community have all been harmed by these ethical issues. A synthesizing sentence of what is happening: Mr. Barely wanted to raise more money than ever before for Briardale Elementary School and developed a raffle ticket fundraiser that was illegal in the state. So, people facts. First, we have Carl Santos. He's the head principal at Briardale. He was unaware of the laws broken. He is also involved in the community and supports recommendations for the funds allocated pertaining to the supplementary curriculum. He also follows the rules to the best of his ability. He always agrees with the recommendations from the foundation, but he always gives it to the curriculum committee as he should. He's a male and his race is unknown. Next, we have Mr. Barely. He's a parent new to the community. He's the president of the foundation. He was in a fraternity at Harvard and was successful in the past in organizing fundraisers. Mr. Barely unknowingly broke laws with the raffle ticket fundraiser. He's a male and his race is unknown. Next, we have Mr. Morley. He's another parent within the district. He graduated from Harvard as well, and he was the president of his elementary school's foundation, and he was also the former class president at Harvard, beating out Mr. Barely in college. He's a male and his race is unknown. Next, we have the sheriff, works as a sheriff in the community. They arrested Mr. Barely the night of the fundraiser. Their race and gender are unknown. And lastly, we have the anonymous tipster. This person notified the sheriff of the laws being broken pertaining to the fundraiser. This person lives in the community, obviously, and their race and gender are unknown. So, place facts, Briardale Elementary is at the center of the town. It also serves as a facility for community concerts, town meetings, and the regional spelling bee. The community is diverse. Within the district, there are 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. The high school is most known for winning football teams. Many of the teachers stay in the district for a long time and create some, long roots there and are in it for the long haul. The location, physical condition, and other than the community being specified as diverse, the demographics are unknown. And it's also unknown whether this place is rural or suburban. There are 600 students that attend Briardale Elementary. It contains grades K through 5, and the district supports grades K through 12. They focus on basic skills for their curriculum, and instructional objectives are based on student performance, and that goes on a school-by-school basis. Foundations have been formed for each school in the district to support supplementary curriculum subjects, and it can be assumed that this district is public. There are currently no unknowns with this program. They gave us a lot of information on this. So next we have the review of information. This situation could be damaging to Mr. Barely, Mr. Santos, the school in the district, and the community. All of the aforementioned stakeholders are pertinent to the success of the outcome of this situation. Mr. Santos will need to contact Briardale Schools Foundation's members and vice president if there is one. Also, parents supporting the fundraiser will need to be contacted. Mr. Santos needs to read about the laws within the state pertaining to fundraising, and there is enough information to make a decision. So first, let's look at our possible outcomes and consequences. First, we have not make a decision at all, take no action with this situation. This could result in Briardale Elementary School not having enough funds for their supplementary program, and it could lead to Mr. Santos, Mr. Barely's, Briardale schools in the district, and the community's reputations being tarnished. Option number 2, dismiss Mr. Barely as the president of the foundation, appoint the vice president of the foundation or another member to hold another fundraiser as soon as possible. In hopes that funds were recorded by individuals, contact each parent to see if they would like to participate in the new fundraiser utilizing their previously donated money. Take orders for that fundraiser if necessary. This could lead to community backlash and possibly the loss of funds from the parents. Could also leave a blemish on the foundation's reputation for years to come. That said, that's already kind of happening with this situation, so I think it's a risk we should be willing to take at times with this option. Number 3, Mr. Santos organizes a new fundraiser on his own. This could hurt the reputation of the foundation and has a chance to be sloppily put together because Mr. Santos is not used to organizing these kind of fundraisers. Also, the parents have a possibility of donating to 2 different fundraisers, which I don't know if they'll be willing to do. Number 4, have Mr. Barely organize the new fundraiser and utilize the previously donated funds as stated in option 2. The community backlash is a possibility, and the parents might see Mr. Barely as an inept in this endeavor for his previous actions with the first fundraiser. Number 5, the principal resigns from his position. This would leave the school and district in disarray. The principal wouldn't be employed, and it does not solve the real issue with the fundraiser. So let's look at the pros and cons for each option. Option number 1, not making a decision at all. There are pros to this. Briardale Elementary School, the district, and the community could put this situation behind them and move forward. There are a lot of cons with this option, though. The foundation could possibly be disbanded. Briardale Elementary School would not have funds for the supplementary curriculum. The principal could be relieved of his duties, and the staff, parents, and community members could see the school and district in a negative light. Number 2, the pros for this are Briardale Elementary School would still have the funds for their supplementary curriculum. The community and district could see this as a solid move to do whatever it takes to support the students. There would be a new legal fundraiser for the school. The parents won't have to spend their money twice, and the principal can ensure that this new fundraiser is appropriate. The cons for this is the community could see this as a weakness due to the dismissal of Mr. Bailey, and the parents may not want to participate in the new fundraiser. That said, that's always a risk with any fundraiser. Number 3, Mr. Santos organized a new fundraiser on his own. Pros for this, Briardale Elementary would still have funds for their curriculum. The community and district could see this as a solid move to do whatever it takes, and the principal could oversee the fundraiser and make sure it's legal. The cons with this, though, are with the inexperience of fundraising, the principal could have a difficult time organizing it by himself. The community could see this as a weakness due to not relieving Mr. Bailey of his duties. The parents might not want to participate in the new fundraiser. The foundation could still be disbanded, and everybody could see the school and district in a negative light. Number 4, the pros for this are Briardale Elementary School would have the funds for their supplementary curriculum. The principal could ensure that this new fundraiser is appropriate, and Mr. Bailey could redeem himself in the eyes of the community. Cons for this, though, community could see this as a weakness due to not relieving Mr. Bailey of his duties. The parents may not want to participate in the new fundraiser. Foundation could still be disbanded. Staff, parents, and community members could see the district in a negative light, and the principal could be relieved of his duties for not acting accordingly in this situation. Number 5, resign as the elementary school principal. Mr. Santos would remove himself from a very tough situation, but that said, there's a lot of cons with this option. The school district would need to start the process of hiring a new elementary school principal. Mr. Santos would need to find another job. The foundation could still be disbanded. Briardale would not have the sufficient funds for the supplementary curriculum, and the staff, parents, and community members would see this in a negative light. Selection of the best option. Number 2, in my opinion, is the appropriate solution. This would help the community see that the school is not taking the situation lightly with the firing of Mr. Bailey, but still doing everything they can for the students. Also, it helps to ensure parents are not spending their money twice, and this option would also ensure that the new fundraiser would be legal. The stakeholders that need to be consulted are the members and vice president of the foundation, the community members, and the parents. And this can be accomplished by the implementation of the decision. So first, we have some steps to go through with the implementation. Number 1, speak with Mr. Bailey and inform him that he will not be president anymore for this year. Apologize for the decision, but at this point, it's a necessity. Number 2, speak with the members and the vice president of the Briardale Elementary School Foundation. If there is not a vice president, ask for someone to help organize a new fundraiser. Ensure them that you will help organize it alongside them this year. And this is very important to let them know they're supported from the school in this endeavor. Number 3, work alongside the new organizer to create a new legal fundraiser. The implementation of these first steps need to be completed in an extremely short period of time.